Welcome, welcome, welcome. Guys and girls can fill up from the front.
Get the
Hi.
front seats. Hurry, run, run.
There's
Get the
seats in the
front
house.
seats.
Might be a
Yes,
splash
right.
zone in front there. Welcome,
Hmm.
welcome, welcome.
Okay,
That's
who needs
some
backstage
risk
passes?
management. Mm.
Exactly. All right. Go, load up, load up, load up. Welcome, welcome.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this backdrop. I'm just looking at it for the first time. I
Mm.
only see it when you guys all see it. So I'm just like looking, what the heck is going on back here? I got Barney with sunglasses on. I got poison bottles everywhere.
Yeah, but what's Barney doing though? That's more important.
Oh yeah. It's like balancing on a tightrope.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
But he has some risk management going on because there's a net below him.
Uh-huh.
I see. Oh, that's pretty clever. In case he falls in the net. Okay.
I thought we were fishing for Barney there, but yeah, close enough. Welcome everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to it. Early morning for some, later for others. Yeah, definitely late in Australia. And we've got some Canadians. We've got a bunch of South Africans, of course. We've got all the Frenches. Who else we got? Some UK representatives. America. It's great to see everybody. Lovely. I see some friends have arrived as well. And some of our past March course students and current May course students as well from our Hodlnots Trading Foundational course. Lovely. Exciting times. How are you, Vicky? How are you, Wendy? How's life?
Great.
Life is good. Absolutely.
Life
The
is
coins
good.
have been running up and down, so we're scalping them.
I got a problem here. I got a problem. I'm not going to be eating a blowfish. I'm not big on my treats here tonight. I can't. I see the shot of tequila over there with the worm. You can do without the worm.
And making sure you've got your sunglasses on. All right.
Yeah, I
That's
see
important.
that. Okay. It's all good.
I don't know. Is anybody familiar with this board game? Pop down in the Q&A if anybody else is familiar with this board game.
I know that board game.
All right.
I haven't played that in forever. Can I say no?
No. We're waiting to see if anybody else knows it.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was a global phenomenon, but yeah, that's cool. That's fun. It's who's got it? Hey.
Yeah, Lisa.
Oh, I was thinking it was something else.
Oh.
No, it has something to do with today's topic.
Yes. And right.
I see that now.
Well done, Liesel. Well done, Rick. Let's anybody else want to jump in there and know what it is. But yeah, that is the theme for today. And it is important because it's something we've actually just been covering with our May course students who are doing the course. And actually, they graduate tomorrow. Can you believe it? All right. They are graduating tomorrow. Yeah. And
I just finished with one pretty lovely lady who just nailed it. So, yeah, we're going to have a full house tomorrow at graduation.
Oh, yeah. I've been buffing up my little scalping constantly. I'm waving my hands. But yes, that the graduation cap, there's a specific word for that. I can never remember what it is. But yeah, we're getting pretty ready. We're busy polishing the brassware in terms of the trumpets and the everything and getting things going. And speaking about getting things going, there are coins running like Vicky said, and we were showing them how we trade, and we were showing them the importance of stop losses as well. So great news, Bitcoin's back up against up above 70,000. Hey,
it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah, well, listen, I mean, it's going places for sure. So we're gonna be talking all about how we manage risk. We've also been covering. You might have noticed that Vicky's been promoted. She's now sitting in the front row with the rest of the peanut gallery. And Marcel is not unfortunately here today, so Vicky's going to be showing us going through some of the great percentage gains over the last week or so. There've been a couple of hot new coins, one of them being not, which is quite funny. And some of the meme coins have been running and a bunch of others. So Vix, I don't know if you're ready for that, but we can get into that. And we will be running a live contest because we can and because we appreciate all of you being here live on the call. For those of you watching this recorded session later, sorry, just tune in next time. And we'll be letting you know how you can enter in to win, well, win a prize or a little prizes, whole bunch of little prizes. Yeah, so we're going to be getting into that shortly. But I think, Vix, let's kick it off with you, and then we're going to start chatting about some risk management and why.
Yeah, absolutely. So in my best South African accent, not here is the weekly update. So this is the week ending last week. As you can see, CTK just took off. So CTK, 10%, 17%, 26, almost 27%. That was 2 trades on that one, 2 trades on this one. So obviously CTK was the coin of the couple days, actually. So CTK ran really well. Jasmy has been going off as well. Jasmy has been going up and down, which is what we love in scalping. There are some new coins. So Ping, I had no idea what this was, and we're going to be talking about that a little later. But scalping doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's running 7.2%. This is some charity coin. So this is a new charity coin. Not, as John said, was running. So not, there was a lot more knots traded. And in fact, we traded not in the newbie room as well. We had a little mini target chase in the newbie room yesterday, and we were trading not, and Jasmy actually as well. So auction, again, as Marcel says every week, that these are not all of the trades, but these are just some of the, it's a selection of trades. And auction 7.56. VGX was quite good as well with a 7.39. So really, all in all, as we know, Bitcoin's running, it was great. Even when Bitcoin isn't running, it's great to scalp. So we really can't say that it's only when Bitcoin's running, because we scalp up, we scalp down, we scalp sideways. So
I sometimes scalp when I'm lying in bed and on my back, look at my phone there and I'm trading. So like, it doesn't matter which direction we're trading in.
And that's why we like scalping. Exactly. So we had a really good week last week, and it's actually been a really good week this week too. This week isn't included on this, and some of these coins are still running, as we mentioned. So Jasmine's still running. Not was running yesterday. So all in all, it's been fabulous scalping the past couple weeks. So there you
I will
go.
have to say though that the last couple of days it's been a food festival. So with the coins, we're running with cake and burger and all. So it's nice to see the food coins running.
Well, yeah, I was looking at bake earlier. Cake was great. I haven't seen sushi run for a while. Sushi.
Yeah, sushi wasn't there, but burger, everybody's been getting some of burger, and we've just been making some really good and cream on your cake. And
there we go. Cream was a great one.
Bake the cake, and it's just been kind of fun in the trading section.
Well, now I'm kind of curious to find out, there's bacon. There's bacon on Gate.io. Sorry, bacon is a food group. And then
we need a chocolate. Is there a chocolate coin? Anyone know if there's a chocolate coin? If there isn't,
there should be.
That's an opportunity lost, isn't it?
There's no chocolate, no, but there is butter. Butter.
Is there butter?
There is butter. We just need some meats and potatoes, hey, Wendy? All right.
Absolutely. Meat, but well, we got the burgers. The burgers are running.
And that's also true. Burgers also been good. There's also Loaf Cat, which ticker is bread. So we got a few interesting ones. All the good carbs. Anyway, so quick question for any and everybody. Let's see how clued up everyone is. There's a little fish in front of Winnie in the Q&A section down below. Anybody know what that is, and why does it fit in with the theme of risk? That is what we want to ask you today, just for 5 million brownie points. Ooh, brownies. Anyone?
Is there a brownie? There's no brownie coin. What are these people doing? We need to get onto that. No brownie, no chocolate.
Let's see if anybody got it. Good. Yeah.
Jeffrey has it.
Yeah, he's got definitely. Well, Anton wants to pipe up. I think we can.
I've never heard it called that.
It's Fugu. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see if Anton can tell us. I'm gonna allow Anton to talk. Anton, you can unmute yourself. You want to tell us what it is? Why is it risky?
I think it's a puffer fish, and it's very poisonous. So if you touch it, you can seriously get yourself killed if it's poisonous. So it's definitely not worthwhile touching it, because I'm a fisherman as well.
Aha. Okay, so is it risky from a touching perspective only in terms of those little spikes, or is there something more to it, do you think, Anton?
No, if you even try to open it or to eat it, it will definitely get you killed. Yeah, you don't want it. You just throw it back in the water.
Throw it back. Throw it back. If you
Catch and
touch it.
Yeah, catch and release very quickly.
That's
Awesome. Thanks for that, Anton. We appreciate that. Lovely. Cool. So if there are a whole bunch of others, let's see. Yeah, we know it's a puffer fish. Deadly if you step on it, sure. You can eat it, but it can sometimes poison you. So, Vicky, you want to explain to? Oh, hang on. We've got. Come on, Carlos. You could have.
Oh,
Yeah.
we had it. No.
We need
So
to
yeah, so fugu, the Japanese master chefs spend years trying to fillet fugu just right. And if they get it right, you can eat it quite safely. If they get it wrong, you cactus. So that's why you have to have proper risk management and go to someone that knows what they're doing.
Absolutely. It's got a poison. I can't remember the name offhand. It's something tetra something. But yes, it's you got to remove a certain gland, but it's seen as a delicacy. And that is part of the risk. Now, why do people take risks? I mean, Wendy, do you ever take risks in life? In anything?
Probably daily.
Tell us more.
Probably every single day. No, we're not going to get into my personal life.
I know. Well, hang on. No. I just wanted some.
I mean, it's a risk when you walk down the stairs. There's a risk when you got cats running in your house. There's a risk everywhere. There's a risk.
Why is there
a risk when I trade?
Okay, let's talk about walking down the stairs, because I mean this is the general theme for today. So we want to hear from everybody else as well. In the Q&A section, if you can give us some examples of risks that you do daily, or that you experience daily, or that you participate in daily, drop it in there. Tell me, Wendy, why is walking down the stairs a risk?
Because you could slip and fall.
Okay, true. Is that after tequila, or is this?
This is when you wake up in the morning, you haven't had your coffee yet, and the coffee's downstairs. So it's like you got to get up, you got to walk down the stairs halfway. So if you got to miss a stair, if you might have your socks on because it's cold and you might slip because it's slippery, you got a shiny on your floor. There's lots of reasons. There's lots of risks.
Okay, all right. What about for you, Vicky? Do you take risks?
I take calculated risks. So I'm one of those people that thinks about every single possible thing that can go wrong first and weigh it up, and then I will or will not take the risk. So I take very calculated risk.
So
you, John?
So you risk averse, basically.
I am somewhat risk averse, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something we say in South Africa sometimes, and that you got to risk it for the biscuit. Sometimes you have to you have to pull the trigger. I mean, if you want to get a reward, sometimes you have to take slight risks, right? I don't know. Do you think it's important to play it safe all the time in life?
No, you can't. Life would be too boring if you did that. So you sometimes you just do have to throw caution to the wind in certain areas of your life. Trading is not one of them, and that's what we're going to be talking about. But other areas, and Liesel, one of our other Liesels, we now have 2 Liesels. Yes, it said driving an essay. So apparently driving an essay is risky.
Well, let's yeah, I mean, Liesel, if you want to extrapolate on that, or anybody else who's driven in South Africa and wants to. But funny enough, so did Jen. And that's back to Australia. Oops. Oh, sorry, one of my alerts just went off, trying to be a risk averse there. Yeah, driving, I suppose, is risky. Does that depend on your age? Does that depend on from country to country? Because I mean, I lived over in Asia for a good couple of years, and some of these countries where you see like hundreds and thousands of scooters on the road or motorbikes and stuff, and it's just like pandemonium. That's fairly risky, but isn't it relative? Like if you're used to driving in a country that everyone drives crazily, and then you go and you get used to it, and you acclimatize to that, and then you go to a country where it's like everyone drives the speed limit and everyone indicates and everything else, then there's little risk, surely? Isn't it relative?
I wonder if you would get more risky in that example. So you're so used to doing it the other way, you go to that country and you go, I'm just going to take a few chances. So,
Well,
True.
that's what happened to me because in America they don't have speed cameras. So in America they have cops that shoot radar down the roads and everybody speeds. Everybody goes super fast. They race down the roads. And then you come over here to Australia and you do the same thing over here. You get slapped with tickets right and left. And all of a sudden you're like, well, where was the cop? They got speed cameras. And all of a sudden you get these tickets in the mail and they're quite large and fine. So you learn that you're going to slow down the pace like everybody else. So.
I'm just trying to think where else one takes risks in life. I mean, like daily, right? So we turn on the lights in the morning to make sure that, depending what time you get up and what season you're in. But I mean, do you guys ever walk around your house at night because you're too lazy to turn the light on and you're like, oh, you're looking for something, and then your shins end up finding the furniture, so we put the light on. That's important. What about saving your money? Like if you've got, you get paid, do you keep your dollars, your cash under your mattress? I mean, is that being risk averse or is that being cautious? All right. So let's relate it to crypto. So most of us, we're all in crypto. Being in this industry, we're trading things that are volatile. We're trading things that there is a lot of risk. So within our sphere, our industry of crypto, everybody who's on the call here, how do we manage that risk? What we're doing is risky business, right? What are some ways that we can minimize our risk? Pop it in the Q&A section. All right. And what we're actually going to do for a contest today, and for the prize, Vicky's going to collect all the names and we're going to spin the wheel of names and assign a prize. We'd like to hear from all of you. How do you manage your risk within this industry that is the crypto industry? How do you all do that? So you can pop it in the Q&A section down below, and we're going to talk about that. Oh, wow.
And how about this? How about this, a bonus question? What does Wendy never do while she trades anymore? What do I never do? And I've learned not to do it probably 5 or 6 times that I've done really bad at, that I can't do it at the same time I trade.
There are so many things that come to mind.
You guys can play it safe. Wendy's got a long list of those there.
Well, if you're a Hodlnot, you should probably know.
This is only an hour, so
you open yourself up.
You're right.
All right.
I did. I opened myself up for that, but we'll see what creativeness the attendees have.
Yeah, there are a few of them already coming in. All right, so that's good. Okay, good. There's a lot of commonality. Okay, nice thinking outside the box there. I like that. Okay, so this is interesting. One of the people on the call, I won't mention the person's name, says they go into countries that are at war, and they go into the country to help the people that are displaced, especially children. But the reward is giving them help and hope and showing them that they are not forgotten. Now that's risky. And it's interesting how we put ourselves at risk for others. I mean, it's something I do in season. Well, not so much for others. Some of you might know that I'm a volunteer wildfire fighter, and I do put myself at risk. But how do I mitigate those risks? This person who's popped it in the Q&A, how do you're going into war-torn countries? How would you mitigate those risks? Because this is all applicable. Every manner. Went?
I said that's tough. That's a tough one.
Sure, but it's funny how the little things, and the reason why we were talking about these really commonplace things that how we manage our risk daily in life, like if you're going to grind coffee beans, make sure you put the lid on top, otherwise, the blades are there or whatever. You don't, but all of these things that we put into practice in daily life, we put sunscreen on, we wear sunglasses when we go outside, we wear a hat to mitigate risks, right? But all of these and this practice can really be applied to the crypto industry, how we manage risk in general, our wealth, our health. I mean, Wendy, how do you manage your health in terms of risk management?
Oh, well, I make sure and I eat good food like ice cream and potato chips, and I make sure that that kind of good food actually brings happiness, and happiness makes sure those good endorphins keep running, and I stay healthy.
That is actually a thing. You
It
know,
is a thing.
mental health, absolutely.
Mental health is very important.
So Vicky, how do you maintain your mental health?
Chocolate. That's why I needed that chocolate coin. So
All right. Anything else? I mean,
my mental health.
yes.
I think, as Wendy said, I think trying to live a healthy, clean eating lifestyle and surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded and doing what you love. And it just all keeps you happy and going.
Very, very important.
Okay.
Yeah, but for some people, I mean, we do know that there are certain mental conditions that genetics have a strong role in, whether it be Alzheimer's or dementia and things. We can mitigate some of that to a degree, whether you do crossword puzzles or Sudoku or connections or Wordles or that kind of thing, and keep your brain going, right? We try and mitigate the risk in that manner.
Are you a Sudoku person?
I don't like numbers. No, I'm more of a word. I'm more of a words
Okay.
person. Okay, so yeah, I grew up not only in reading but doing crossword.
Scrabble.
Yeah, absolutely. I've recently discovered, I can't use my words today. I've recently discovered, I used them all up earlier, but yeah, I recently discovered a love for these things called connections and wordles, and yeah, I enjoy doing those daily.
Wordles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we
Give
should
us a
Wordles
Wordle.
are fun. It's
give me
not
a
a it's
Wordle.
not a it's not a word it's not a word. It's a you get 6 chances and you have to guess the word in
So
6
you're both
tries.
into Wordles. You're both
Oh yeah,
into
Wordle's universal. So who hands up? Well, no, we can't put our hands up.
Can't put our hands up. We don't
Thumbs
know
up,
what.
thumbs up. Who's heard of Wordles?
Who does
It's
Wordle?
it's the
I've
New it's the
never
New
heard
York
of a Wordle. I've
it's
never
the
heard
New
of a
York
Wordle.
Times. So it's actually quite a big thing.
We got one
Wordle.
thumbs up. So I am in the majority here. It's obvious. So you got 2 thumbs. 2 thumbs. Okay, don't be pushing thumb buttons now.
No, it's a pity we
What the
can't
heck is a
see.
Wordle?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. People can't actually put your hand up. Actually, just raise your hand. Everybody, the raise hand function to talk. Just put your hand up, so Wendy can actually see.
If
So
you've heard of a Wordle.
Rick's heard of a
now,
Wordle.
there we go.
Liesel's heard of a Wordle.
2,
Jeffrey.
3.
Yeah.
The majority it rules with me. I see that. Nobody's heard of a Wordle. I don't even know what a Wordle is.
All right. So if your hand stays up, I presume that's okay. Just checking. Thank you. I thought we're gonna have these pipe in there. No worries. So speaking about Wordles and risk and everything else, there are some games that you can play, and in order to win, you have to take risks. Now, do you think that trading crypto, both Vicky and Wendy, do you think that trading crypto is like gambling? Or do you think it's taking risk? Is there a difference?
There's a huge difference. I will answer that one because matter of fact, that is a great question because I get asked that a lot. Don't you? I don't want to get into trading crypto because it's gambling. It's gambling. It's not. It's a risk, and that's a great question. Because a lot of people don't realize the difference between a risk and gambling. Gambling is when you're leverage trading and you're not using stop loss and you don't know what you're doing because you're not trained and educated. When you are trained and educated, it now becomes an investment and that you are knowledgeable about. But with any investment, you have risk. So mitigating your risk is very important. But being trained and educated and knowing how to do what you do makes it not gambling. And I'm a true believer in that. But I can tell you that it's not gambling if you're trained and educated, you know what you're doing. Because you can buy a house in a flood zone, but if you're not trained and educated and you don't know what to look for, are you gambling with your money if you throw it away in a flood zone and you don't know that the house was sitting in a flood zone? So you can look at it a lot of different ways. But to me, trading, as long as you're trained and educated and you're mitigating your risk, it's not gambling. That's my 2 cents or 3 cents or 4 cents or 5 cents.
Absolutely. All right. And that's kind of why we have these sessions. Hodlnots happy hour hangout sessions are not just for us just to hang out and talk smack and you know, have these great graphics and stuff. We're trying to educate, and that is super, super important. So most of you on this call have actually done our course in one form or another. There are a bunch of other people haven't seen before. Welcome to it. I'm not going to call you up by name, but lovely to have you here. And if you're part of the Bitcoin Trade and Forecast family, whether you're part of DTM or MTT or even long-term trade reports, you can actually, you know, when you get the signals as such from DTM and MTT, they will give you your entries and your take profits, but most importantly, they'll give you a stop loss. And that is an important thing to have. Now,
Yes.
well, it's an important thing to use even when you're scalping. Why do we, anybody pop it in the Q&A, why do we use the stop loss? Let's see if anybody can answer this. Why do we use the stop loss? It sounds like a simple question, but it's such an important thing. And it's something we were covering with our almost graduates just the other day when we were trading and we were showing them all about stop losses. Why is it super, super important? Let's see. People don't
It's so.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you go.
There you go.
All right. So yes, Donna Sien's got it great. That's fantastic. Yes, to protect your capital, right? This is a separate comment there. Yep. Well, you're right, Liesl. It's you protecting your money. Yep. Harrod, you're right. Thank you, Anton. Absolutely. It is super, super important to protect your money. Because what if you don't use a stop loss? I mean, are you trading then, or are you gambling? Because this is important. Now, scalping, you know, you're in and out of coin, whether it be, you know, 30 seconds, a minute, a couple of minutes, whatever it might be. You're in and out quickly, but there is always time to put a stop loss in.
I wanted to say that people look at stop losses as a negative. Oh, my stop loss hit. No, if your stop loss hits, that's also a yay, because that could be a lot worse if your stop loss didn't hit. So stop losses are not a bad thing, they're a good thing. So I think we have to just change our thinking around stop losses when they hit.
Absolutely.
Good point. Good point.
No, it is. And what we do teach in the course, both the class course and the premium course, is an understanding of timeframes. And if you have an understanding of timeframes and you know the coin is going to be trending upwards because of what we've taught and what we've shown you, there is less chance of that coin just deciding to turn and go south very quickly. Obviously, Bitcoin or Elon or whatever it might be that might have an effect on things, and the market can turn quickly. And that's the reason for having stop losses, is just in case, because we deal with a very volatile entity, and that is the crypto market. Now, you know, whether you're trading with $20, whether you're trading with $200, $2,000, you have to protect your capital. I mean, what is going to happen if you're like, oh, I'm trading $20 and then it goes down 10%, I only lose $2? What is that going to cultivate? Or what is that going to propagate really going forward? Because then do you not care about $2? You're like, $2 is nothing. But if you have that, you go start trading $50 and you're like, $5 is nothing. And you start trading $100 and $10 is nothing. And you start trading $1,000 and you're like, ooh, care. So isn't it important? I mean, Vix, when you
go ahead.
No, I just want to ask you, like when you first started trading, did you use a stop loss at all?
I did, because when we first started trading, we learned how to use a stop loss. We did not learn any other way of trading. So I do use a stop loss a lot. Most times I'm trading, I use a stop loss, because when we learned way back in the dark ages, we did learn that it was a good thing. And Wendy always says that, you know, well, if it hits, great. I'm out of the coin. I protected most of my money and I can just get back in and make it up. Whereas if you don't use a stop loss and it goes down and down and down, and you start with a hopium, you could hold on to coins for years before you, if you might never get it back. So yes, I do trade with a stop loss quite often, even if I am in a coin for 2 minutes, just in case.
All right. So let's.
John, what about you? Do you use stop loss or no stop loss?
it varies. I think I have a deeper understanding of stop losses and more importantly, timeframes and how the trend of the coin is going up. But it really depends on what I'm trading with. If I'm in and out of a coin in a minute and I'm trading $100 and I know the trend is up, I'm getting out on the way up. That's important. But if I'm trading now $500 or $1,000, it's super important to have that stop loss in place just in case, because you got to look after your money so it looks after you, kind of thing. So, yeah, Wendy, what about you?
Oops. It depends on the type of trading style I'm in. And I think this is where it really gets important, is being trained and educated, because you don't want to mix up your trading style. So when I am minute scalping and I'm in and out of coins very fast, I don't use the stop loss because I am watching my trade by the second, basically. So I know exactly when I'm going to buy and sell. But when I'm longer term holding a coin, if I'm doing signals, or if I'm snuggling or longer term trades, yes, absolutely do I use a stop loss, because I like to trail it up and I like to capture my profit as it's going up, so that when it hits a retracement, I'm out of the coin with definite profit. So it also exactly mitigates your risk, so that it doesn't, when it does a 50% dive, you're not 50% loss. You might be 5 or 7. But yes, you have to mitigate your risk or you'll lose it all. So yeah, absolutely. Stop loss is very important depending on what trading style you're on.
Well, that's exactly it. And if you look at it, it's very different if you're trading on a 1 minute versus you trading on a 4 hour. I'm thinking of some of the signals that Day Trade Masters give out, and they will give their reward risk ratio or risk reward ratio, and they'll have their stop loss in place. And it might be 6%, it might be 8%. Now, that does sound like a lot, but when you've got TPs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 even, and it's anything, oops, there goes one of my coins.
I heard that.
Good, I'm glad. It's loud.
Coins dropping. Yeah.
No, it was. We're going to look at it shortly, because we're actually going to trade live, and we're going to show some of you where we actually put our stop loss if we're scalping. And I'm going to do that live with all of you. I'm just going to have a quick look at that coin that just took off. But if you look at DTM and MTT, you have to allow. Oh, there goes TRP. Yeah, you got to look at the risk reward ratio and have a look at that. So let's have a quick look, actually, because my alert has just gone off quickly. Just a quick thing, we were looking at, this is quite handy. If you guys ever Google it, is the Fear Greed Index. Binance has got this, and it talks about what is the general market sentiment. Now, when there's a sense of greed, everybody's buying. Yeah, when we get greedy, we tend to forget about taking precautions and taking risks.
We FOMO in. So that is the worst thing you can do. You forget to do your analysis, and then it all goes pear-shaped. So that is the greedy one, is the yeah, just don't FOMO in, just stick to your plan. Do everything normally.
Well, absolutely. And the thing is, I mean, one of our Black Bears, Graham, I don't know if I thought I saw him on the call earlier. He says, plan your trade and trade your plan. And it's important to always stick to that. He's also said, if you set a stop loss and it flies and you take profit, you are right. If it turns around and hits your stop loss, you were also right. And it's so important that doesn't matter if there's fear in the market. Ooh, then you're extra cautious. If the market is flying, you should still be very cautious. You should still protect your capital, because anything can happen. And I'm looking at this one coin that's just taken off now. Let's pull it up. TRB. Okay. Beautiful 1 minute. And if people had decided, oh, I'm going to get greedy or FOMO in, and they jump in, then what happens is you're like, oh, I'm going to get in. You get in and you're like, oh, I'm going to get one more candle. And the next thing, it turns around and you haven't protected your capital. It's a sense of greed. And it's especially in those times that I think people become more complacent. They actually don't use their stop losses. I don't know what, Wendy, if you tend to agree with that sentiment, or what your thoughts are.
Absolutely. So yeah, like I said, it depends on how you're trading and what time frame. 1 minute, you know, this is what we teach on the course, how to get out before you get those red ones. You know, so, you know, or mitigating your risk using your stop loss. So this is really, really important to do, in making sure that you use it. But on higher time frames, it works differently. While it looks the same, you got more time. So it's FOMOing in is definitely a no-no.
Well, I'm gonna FOMO in right
You
now.
need,
I'm gonna FOMO
are you
in.
gonna,
Yeah,
are you, oh,
yeah.
because why? What time frame are you on? 1 minute? Yeah, absolutely. Well, now that's a good trade to be in. But
Okay.
you're not FOMOing in if you know.
Okay. Well, I got in, right? Now,
Okay.
what am I hoping that this
It's
coin's gonna go up?
it's gonna retrade.
Okay, so how do I then protect my capital? So let's have a quick look.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is, all my alerts are going off. All right, I got in on high at 6.67. All right. Let's just, there it is, right where it is right now. So cool. I'll just draw that line roughly there. Cool. So where does one put a stop loss? And this is something that we get asked every course, we get asked all the time. And I've got my $52 in there. And what if it decides to now tank? So now this is a personal question when it comes to stop losses. And it's something that we do touch on, and that is what we call a stop limit. And now you have to put something in place. Now, we're not going to get into the dynamics of what a stop limit really is, but I'm going to put one in place roughly wherever. All right, I'll put it there. The key is just to get it into place. All right, and with that, then I know that at least I'll put it, what is it? I'll make it 6.6. Why not? Okay.
Yeah, that's a good trade you got in. That's a good trade.
Yeah, well, but the point is, whether or not anybody on this call really understands it, it is important to be able to understand the concept of actually just getting a stop loss in. Now, that's quite close. It'll probably wick me out, or it's going to at least, trigger. So maybe I should, well, yeah, I'm not going to get in the dynamics of what it is, but hey, I've got a stop loss in place. Maybe what I should actually do is actually just give myself a bit more breathing room. And now this is where the personal question comes in, is like, people don't know where they should actually be. Let me just change this 6.5.
Yeah, you had it really good actually, because you want it, it depends. You're minute scalping, so you want it to be fairly close because you don't want to lose a lot of capital really fast on minutes.
Sure, but the question is, and this is the debate, like if you're trading high time frames, are you going to have a super close stop loss?
Not with high time frames, no.
Okay, so but the fact is you still have a stop loss, right? So this is this personal
Absolutely.
question that we talk about on the course. Any sort of trading, you got to have a stop loss in place. Vicky, what about you? I mean, when you do trade and you scalp, where would you give yourself a little bit more breathing room? I mean,
I do, because one of the reasons I do, and for those who haven't done the course, apologies, but Heikin-Ashi candles are not real. So they do give you a average. So I do give myself a little bit more room because the normal candle can be doing something different. But also what I do is as you just said, I just get the stop loss placed. So I would probably put it where you just did as well, because I have a good understanding of time frames. So I would be looking at my higher time frames to see if it's going to continue to run. Pinky is a great place to put it, because the other thing is the stop loss is just there just in case. So if you read that wrong, what you can do is you don't wait for it to hit your stop loss. You can actually cancel your stop loss and sell. But the stop loss is just there just in case you are not fast enough to sell when you see that red candle. So, where John has his stop loss right now, it's quite far away from the candle action. But it's just like if you have one of those giant candles that goes down, not so much on Binance, but other exchanges, it will hit his stop loss and you'll be out of the coin. Fantastic. But two different things. It's going sideways now, so you could actually cancel your stop loss and just sell normally, knowing that just in case that big long candle comes, you are out. Or you could put it very close, as Wendy does, and then you, again, if it turns around, you're out quicker. So there is two different ways to use stop losses in scalping, at least, but it's just really a just in case. if you read it wrong, or a candle comes out of nowhere and goes down and you want to be out of the coin, it's a just in case. As John said, it's personal. How much are you willing to lose? But you also have to know that if you put it too close, you'll keep getting wicked out. So it is a balancing act about where you want to put it. What are your thoughts, John, on that?
Well, let me just, I'm going to just get out of this coin for now. I'm not going to wait for it to hit my stop loss. It's just gone past. Come on, come back. Bounce back up. Come on, take an order. We're not going to get into the whole dynamics of now trying to play catch up and stuff. It might take my order shortly, but I actually wanted, there's another coin that's looking to go, and I might get into that earlier. But my thoughts on that is coins have this natural breathing rhythm. And again, like Vicky said, if you have an understanding of timeframes, you'll know whether or not this is going to go up or it's not. Now you can see it's probably come almost down to where my stop loss would have been. It depends on a couple of things, and let's have a look at this. So you guys know who you're trading with, DTM or MTT. You know what your TPs are, but what we'll often look at is what percentage are these candles moving? And that was a big candle. I mean, that was a 2.93% candle. So again, do you measure what is your risk appetite? Are you willing to lose 5%? Are you willing to lose 8%, 10%? What is your dollar position? And these things are important because you're managing risk. You have a stop loss in place, or you would have had a stop loss in place, but you need to decide, like, what are you willing to lose to make an educated, or hopefully an educated or an informed trade? You still have to put that into place and say, well, what is the cost I'm willing to accept? It's the same like why we have insurance on our cars or on our camera gear or health insurance, right? Is that in case something goes wrong, you're paying a monthly fee, but you're doing the right thing. So if, for instance, we were trading on a different time frame, right, we wouldn't necessarily be trading. Okay. So let's say, for instance, you were looking to trade this and there was a DTM signal and said, all right, cool, buy in here and TP will be at 8,5 or whatever it is. Where are you going to put your stop loss? So is it going to be similar to there? Like I had 1.57% or whatever it was. Or is it going to be much lower? What is it going to be based on? Is it based on information that you've been given? Is it information that you've gleaned or something that you've learned? Is it technical analysis? So these are things that you need to consider.
And that's a good point, because scalping and, as Wendy said, don't mix your trading styles. Scalping and day trading are very different beasts. The day traders have a formula. They figure it out. They place their stop loss actually a little bit lower than that. So they know exactly where they want their stop loss at every time. Whereas scalping, because it's so fast, it is more, as John said, what are you willing to lose? Do you want to just put it in just in case, or do you want it to hit your stop loss as you like Wendy does? So scalping and long-term trading or day trading are two different things. So we are not calculating risk reward when we're scalping. We're not calculating, some people calculate percent, but it's just more of a placement. So don't mix your trading styles, because it really won't work for scalping. And John, yeah, this looks like you might try again.
Yeah, this is something we were actually trading in our target chase yesterday. But this is, I'm not going to get into too much, but there are certain things that we take into account when we're looking at scalping, and why, for instance, this coin STRK, strike, whatever you want to call it, might not be running. But in terms of risk management, there are certain things, and they're like signals that Marius will give out, or the signals that Nico will give out on the different time frames. And they would be looking at where the resistance might be. They'll be looking at where support might be. And these are things that all are calculated as part of that risk taking. So if I believe that something is going to go, if I hadn't seen this 4-hour and the 1 hour looked amazing and you decide to get in, that's all good and well, but you still have to have a stop loss in place. So I'm keen to see, just in because we had a question, we got this contest running, and we asked a bunch of you, how do you mitigate risk, especially in the crypto industry? And we have some great answers, and I think Vicky's populated everybody on the wheel of names. Let's see. Yes, so let's go have a look at some of these answers. I won't mention who said what. Blah, blah, blah. All right, stop loss, of course, was one of the first things that came up. Must set a stop loss. Indicators. Now, that's a really good answer as well. Indicators help us mitigate the risk. How does that happen? Wendy, how do indicators help us mitigate risk?
Learning how to read them. Goodness.
Mm.
They will mitigate risk in many, many ways. So when you learn how to read each of the indicators, they all mean something. And for instance, what we teach in the Hodlnot is the Ichimiku cloud. And we teach it in a different way than you would use it in long term. But those clouds are very, very important. And a lot of analysts don't use them, but they do tell you whether a coin's going to go up or down or sideways or what it's doing, as well as each one of the moving averages and the MACD. And you're using all of your indicators. Each one of them tell you a story about whether it's going to retrace or it's a good time to get in a coin, as well as the time frames. So reading, knowing how the time frames work and all of that, it's just definitely knowing helps to prevent from loss.
100% that. And that was a really good answer like that. Another really good answer as well, and this is important within Bitcoin Trend and Forecast, that there are so many opportunities in terms of the products and the signals, is don't have all of your eggs in one basket. Spread your portfolio at least 2 or more places as well. So spreading portfolio, whether you scalp, whether you DTM, but that's not only within crypto. What about stocks? What about shares, bonds, that kind of thing? And then also making sure that maybe like a safe that you might have at home for your passport, your important documents that are fireproof or floodproof. But in terms of crypto, get your long-term holds off into a secure wallet. That's another great way. It's not just education and understanding of indicators. Use multiple exchanges. Why is that such an important point, Wendy?
Multiple exchanges because we have different coins, number one, different prices on different exchanges. But what if an exchange goes down, which they have done that before, and all your cryptos on one exchange? You want to mitigate your risk and put some on one, some on the other, some on the other, just in case. Companies do fold. Things happen. There's risk with everything.
Absolutely.
So that's why we do it. We use lots of different exchanges because when some coins may not be running on one, they have different coins on another. So I would be losing out on some coins and obviously the liquidity is different on different exchanges. So I might have a better percentage gain on a coin on one exchange than the other.
100%, and I completely agree with that. It's important to manage that kind of risk. Another thing as well.
And
Shoot. Yep.
No, I was going to say, and also going back to wallets, please, 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 please write down your private keys, write down your seed phrase, keep them in a really safe spot. Give them, in fact, we actually had a risk management session in Hodlnots a couple last month, and don't hide those keys, because what if you unfortunately are not with us anymore and your family can't get to them? So what I do is actually, with my main one, I've written it down quite a few places, but I actually tear it in half. Half goes here, half goes here. People know where it is. And I actually do that. So, but please, not only write them down, keep it in a safe spot, but give it to someone that you really trust, or at least in your will. In your will, this is where you find it, because crypto is lost forever if you can't access it. So it's kind of a two-step risk management, that keep it safe, but don't keep it too safe, because that we know when you're gone, no one's going to be able to find it for you. So that's really important.
I mean, you never know what's going to happen in life. I mean, what if God forbid, your house burns down and your computer, is gone? And what if somebody comes in your house and steals your computer? I mean, and you didn't have your keys written down somewhere. And you those things are gone forever. Things happen that you may be unexpected. So just mitigating that risk and making sure that you are covered in a lot of different areas. So, it's very good to do.
Yeah, speaking about seizing, another thing as well in terms of risk management, and 2 people actually brought this up, really pertinent points. It's about your emotions. Watch your emotions, check your emotions. If you're not mentally there, well, sorry, that sounds really wrong. If you're not in the right space in which to trade, all right, it's super important to make sure that you're in that right space. Otherwise, you're gambling. And we teach that in the course. Liesl has covered it a lot in the lodge. For those of you who are part of our community, some incredible mind motion sessions around that risk management and checking your emotions. That is super, super important. And then also keeping up to date with coin news, which coins are being delisted. I made a mistake snuggling a coin last year and had been doing so well on the day. And I woke up the next day and had been delisted. Goodbye, money. So it is super, super important to always DYOR. Do your own research around the platforms. If there's any news, there's a lot of FUD, all right? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt that does go around, but you still need to check that. All right. Speaking of checking, I was thinking, yeah, shoot, Wendy.
No, I was just going to say, and it's just the same thing as mitigating your risk is not having all of your eggs in one basket, which is what you said earlier, and having all of your money invested in one cryptocurrency. For instance, for those people who got stuck in Luna, okay,
Luna, yeah.
they banked on Luna because it was such a great 55% rule coin. And lots of people loved it, and they loved it so much they put all of their money on it, they staked it, and then it crashed. So they didn't mitigate their risk properly because of the fact that they had all of their eggs in one basket on one big coin. So this is why we use lots of exchanges and why we use lots of coins or a few coins, mitigate your risk.
Absolutely. And speaking about coins and risk and mitigating that, one of the other things as well, and the reason why we use a stop loss is that if, for instance, you've misread the timeframes or you've misread the signal or and you choose not to have a stop loss, you end up being invested in that coin for quite some time. And you think about it every single day. You check it every hour. And you're like, oh no, and then it keeps on going down, right? The best thing to help with that is like an extra step within risk mitigation is rather take that stop loss hit. And like one of the last people have mentioned here is cut your short-term loss because you can always find a coin that is running. So rather take a knock of 2%, 5%, keep that capital, even if you're at a loss, and be able to then trade up the next coin, make up that loss, and actually be in profit. And so you forget about that other coin that you were invested in. I think that is such an important point as well. So lovely, guys and girls. Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, so we had a whole bunch of really great answers in terms of how people are mitigating their risk within at least our industry in the crypto sphere. And Vicky's put all the names. There were a whole bunch of answers.
There was a whole bunch of answers.
Have you all spin that wheel?
Yeah, I did spin the wheel actually just before, and Rick Y has won 25 BTAF tokens.
Rick Y, well done.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Rick, if you could please drop a support ticket over in the back office of your Bitcoin TAF. You've won a bunch of BTAF tokens, all right? And that is amazing considering how BTAF token has been doing. And you guys and girls do know that it is on Bitmart at the moment. And on that note, because we can segue here on Hodlnots, we're covering everything within Bitcoin Trend and Forecast, is that tomorrow at 9 a.m. UTC, it's going to be 11 o'clock for South Africans in Europe. We have our BTAF, our monthly BTAF token AMA, and we've got some huge news for you regarding our token. We've got a couple of really exciting updates. So we're looking forward to that. But yeah, listen, that was a quick summary. We could have chatted ages more on risk management. But please, for everybody, use a stop loss. Make sure that you're managing your risk at all time. It is important. Yeah, Vicky, Wendy, any closing remarks before we wrap up this 29th edition of the...
No, that was fantastic. It was fantastic. I think it's really important that people need to know about the risk and mitigate your risk so that you can, avoid loss. But yes, there's another call going on. So lots of people are invested in DPM. So there's another call coming up. They're going to want to leave, but we're glad you came with us.
Absolutely. Fix? Closing comments?
I just want to thank everyone for participating because we had some really good answers, and it sounds like most of our Hodlnots know exactly what to do. So well done. And if you haven't done the Hodlnots course, you jump on and you'll know what to do next.
Yes, on that last note, July 19th. That is when we're doing our next one, and it's going to be a goodie. Watch out because Yeah, watch out on our socials. There's some big things coming, ladies and gents. Keep an eye. You don't want to miss out on this course. That said, those students who are currently in the course that will be graduating tomorrow, we're excited to be seeing you as well. You know where, what time. But for the rest of you, same time, same place. In 2 weeks from now, we'll catch you for episode number 30. Very exciting.
Wow, already. All right, everybody, have a wonderful evening. Thank you, John, for
Thank you both.
emceeing, and Vicky for this lovely backdrop.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for you two ladies, who knows where the show might have gone. So you were mitigating the risk of that happening. So thanks for being on the call. Thanks for being my risk support. And we'll catch you all later. Bye all.
Bye.
Thanks,
bye.
everyone.